Well, that's a moment no one will forget. That was the scene down here at the Forks yesterday. A couple of our closest friends, as the announcement was made that the NHL team is coming back to Winnipeg after 15 long years, and the celebration, I bet, continues. I think there's some blurry-eyed people walking around the Forks who've been here since yesterday.
We've already cleaned up the parking lot around City, and there should be some blurry-eyed people out there this morning.
There's a couple. So anyway, definitely a very exciting day. Big news for everyone, and now it's the whole drive to 13. People want to know. They want to get their tickets. The team is back. Now, how can we go see them? And Drew is actually at MTS Centre. He'll be talking to a representative from True North Sports and Entertainment, and we'll fill you in on that, because that's the next thing people want to get their hands on.
That thing is, we got one question answered, and now there's dozens of questions to answer. We're going to try to answer as many as we can. We'll talk about everything from the name of the team to when you can get your tickets to where they'll play, who their first opponent will be. We'll bring in Arash Madani from Rogers Sportsnet to talk about some of the stuff about behind the team, what's going on, and I'll answer some of those questions.
Good morning. Thanks, Jenna. Well, it's a celebration that just won't stop. You can expect to see more than a few happy but sleepy faces this morning as Winnipeggers revel in the news of the NHL's return home. Hockey fans cheered by the thousands at the Forks, Portage in Maine, and outside the MTS Centre as it was announced the Atlanta Thrashers are ours. Many wore Jets jerseys, pins, and hats, while others carried signs welcoming the league back. But there are still a few details that have to be tied up, like choosing a name for a new team and selling 13,000 season tickets.
We are asking our folks to partner with us in a sense in terms of a term commitment to those tickets, and we think that's very unique in the National Hockey League.
We've missed you.
The anticipated $4 million a year revenue from 90 VLTs in the MTS Centre's Sports Lounge will also help boost the club.
But as we all know, what makes a great
As a result of this deal, the Manitoba Moose will also be on the move. But there is some good news for Moose hockey fans.
Owning your own development partner is a very significant part of the operation, so we will continue to own the Manitoba Moose Hockey Club, and we will find a place in relatively short order to make sure that they are up and operational as a development affiliate for the now Winnipeg National Hockey League team.
While they have yet to decide where to relocate the Moose, the owners say they are considering St. John's, Newfoundland. But a group from that city recently had a setback in their attempts to acquire the Moose when the province rejected a request to annually subsidize the team.
They're having fun here at the Winnipeg Arena. The Jets have run 1-0. It's like being on a runway next to a 747 on takeoff. It's coming back to Winnipeg!
The Jets.
I think they should be called polar bears.
Winnipeg Jets, yeah.
The Jets.
Or snowflakes.
I'm going to say call it the Jets. It's the Jets have come home.
Or the Colts, how's that?
I like the tradition of going back to the Falcons. However, this seems to be the Jets will be the favorite.
The Winnipeg Jets.
Winnipeg Jets.
High five.
Yeah.
How about the Winnipeg taxpayer subsidies? Good one.
How about the Blazers?
Some great ideas when it comes to naming the team. That's one of the first questions. As soon as the announcement happened, we all started asking these obvious questions. Megan Batchelor, because our poll today is, what name do we want?
Naturally, our web poll question today, what do you think our new NHL team should be named? We've got a couple of options here, but of course we are open to more suggestions. Jets, Falcons, for the polar bears tossed around, or, like I said, we are open to suggestions right on our wall at facebook.com/BT Winnipeg. And I did put this out there already shortly after the announcement, and of course, everyone wrote Jets. I did get one other suggestion, though. Someone suggested on Twitter the Winnipeg Strix. Now, this is S-T-R-I-X, and it's a mythological kind of character.
Okay, so it'd be like in the Griffins or something.
Yeah, so it looks like an owl, so it's, I don't know, I think that could be kind of cool.
Pig Strix.
You know, if we have to do something different, it's less cheesy than polar bears, in my opinion.
Honestly, I'm afraid of polar bears. Not that it's not a regal, wonderful animal, but
Yeah.
if the fear is that we can't draw Americans because we're so cold, naming it after an animal.
That just gives into the stereotype of Canadians.
Let's call them the Winnipeg. Let's call them the Sun Devils.
The Sun Devils. That's cool.
Something that
That's
says,
cool.
please move here. It's not as bad
But
as
Jets, you
heard.
can't beat that. I don't
No.
know, that's my opinion. But again, what do you think our new NHL team should be named? Jets, Falcons, Polar Bears, or other? Go to breakfasttelevision.ca.
I think I know where this one's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those predictable ones.
We want to go back a bit and talk about yesterday's poll.
Yes, yesterday's web poll question, we had a great segment on from Home Depot. We were talking about container gardening. So we wanted to know if you have planted your garden yet, and our viewers are procrastinators. 89% of those who logged on said no, 11% said yes, but it is looking like a nice weekend, so this weekend could be the time for you.
Maybe it's the time. Again, maybe they're just well planned because we got that little cold snap there.
Yes, exactly. Well planned.
Well planned, that's what we are. We plan well. Now we're going to continue our look at the Jets and the big announcement of, or what I should say, I like to call the Jets. The NHL coming back to Winnipeg. Let's check in with Paycheck.
Someone else suggested another name to me. It was the Winnipeg Winnie the Poohs. Not, right? The Winnie the Poohs. There's another bear. Well, they left the city 15 years ago, but Winnipeg Jets fans have kept their sticks on the ice and a few sick days in their pockets. BT's Kim Kasher has the details on how many people didn't quite make it to work yesterday. And if you were anywhere near downtown, you'll know it was a lot.
Here in Winnipeg, a whole lot of hooky for hockey.
Had to be here to celebrate the return of the NHL to Winnipeg, and I needed my kids to be here with me.
When she told me that the Jets were, when the team was coming, I could not sleep that entire night. I felt sick and I just didn't want to go to bed.
The celebrations started early with these guys getting the honks at Portage and Maine. The location that threw one off-the-cuff remark became the Mount Sinai of hockey news in Winnipeg.
We're just enjoying the moment right now.
It's probably the best way to wake up. From a text from my buddy Cody. The Jets are back. It's a done deal.
At the Forks, fans waited to hear it from the horse's mouth, but not every horse got a standing ovation.
He's the one that got rid of the Jets in the first place. He doesn't deserve to be here.
Most were willing to look at the positive.
Gary Bettman finally did one good thing, and that's move the Thrashers to Winnipeg.
At a party like this, things are bound to get emotional.
To see the alumni come out when they introduced them, I start crying again because it's emotional.
I've always said since he left, we'll get it back again. Some people didn't believe me, and I said, he'll be back, and here we are.
Here at the corner of Portage and Maine, the windiest corner in North America, have had to contend with a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain today, but nothing can dampen the spirits of these folks who are just having the biggest party of the last 15 years. For Breakfast Television, I'm Kim Kasher.
And I believe that ball hockey game went all day and all night. It's quite the party here at the Forks and also at Portage in Maine. And we've got Drew down at MTS Centre. He's going to fill us in a little bit more. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning, Pay. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and I see you've got your jersey on.
I got my jersey on. I'm ready to go. I'm all very excited to celebrate the hopeful return of the NHL here.
So now we know that the team is coming back. So obviously the next step is we've got to figure out a name. And also people want tickets. They want to know how they can come and see the games.
All of those things that everyone is wondering, I'm going to get a chance to chat with Scott here from True North Entertainment, and he's going to answer those questions as best as he can. So I'll get those details for you in just a little while, okay?
All right, can't wait. We'll talk to you soon. More details from Drew and the drive to 13. But right now, we're taking a break on BT. Back with more after this.
Good morning, welcome back to BT. The party has continued. Some of us never stopped, really.
It's a celebration that will go on and on. Yes, the announcement was made yesterday. The NHL team is back. And now more questions like, what is the name going to be? Because we want to buy our jerseys. We want stuff.
We want stuff. We've got, there are living rooms across Winnipeg that need to be redecorated. Right? There's man caves that need a complete do-over. And we're all waiting for what color.
What are the new colors?
What color are we going to do our man cave
And
in?
Drew is down at MTS Centre. He's talking to a representative from True North Sports and Entertainment, and he'll tell you all about Drive to 13 and how you can buy tickets and answer a few questions for you.
And we'll also bring in Arash Madani from Rogers Sportsnet, talk a little bit about, well, the actual hockey, what kind of team we're getting, and if these guys are any good.
And, of course, we've had some highlights from yesterday, so we'll play those back because maybe you don't remember it very well if you were partying all day, all night. Right now,
Good morning. Thanks, Jenna. It was a night of action-packed celebrations across the city as proud Winnipeggers reveled in the joy of bringing our boys back home. Hockey fans cheered by the thousands at the Forks, Portage in Maine, and outside MTS Centre as it was announced the Atlanta Thrashers are ours. Many wore Jets jerseys, pins, and hats, while others carried signs welcoming back the league. But there are still a few details that have to be tied up, like choosing a name and selling 13,000 season tickets. Breakfast Television's Kaylee Hamilton has more.
It's no surprise that Mark Chipman, one of the owners of True North Sports and Entertainment, drew lots of attention here at the MTS Centre as history was made here in Winnipeg.
And I am excited beyond words to announce our purchase of the Atlanta Thrashers. In a sense, I guess you could say that True North, our city and our province, has received the call we've long since been waiting for.
We get to be back in a place we wish we hadn't left in 1996.
The pride of being a Winnipegger today, what number could you possibly put on it? It's totally priceless.
In the wee hours of Tuesday morning, True North, the Atlanta Spirit, and the NHL came to an official agreement.
Welcome to Winnipeg's new home of NHL hockey.
But while fans celebrated, that was the official knock on wood from True North President Jim Ludlow, because there's still one small matter that could keep Winnipeg from being an NHL town in the 2011-2012 season.
It has been fully executed. It is fully funded and financed, subject only to NHL Board of Governors approval.
Now Winnipeg fans need to step up and show the NHL that we're ready to support our team with the drive to 13, meaning 13,000 season tickets must be sold before the Board of Governors meets June 21st.
We are asking our folks to partner with us in a sense in terms of a term commitment to those tickets. And we think that's very unique in the National Hockey League, certainly in Canada, that we will have this building sold out on a long-term basis.
Though the relocation hangs on meeting this goal, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman has faith that Winnipeg is ready.
Not only did this building not exist, there was no prospect of this building. And nobody was willing to step up and say, we'd like to own the franchise.
And while hardcore hockey fans rallied outside the MTS Centre, it's inside that really matters. This is the smallest arena in the entire National Hockey League, and for the NHL to remain viable in Winnipeg, every single one of these 15,000 seats will have to be filled every single game. For Breakfast Television, I'm Kaylee Hamilton.
This season, the Winnipeg team will join the Carolina Hurricanes, Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, and Washington Capitals in the Southeast Division until a realignment is done. Moose season ticket and mini pack holders and corporate sponsors can start claiming their packages when the Drive to 13 officially begins today at 1 p.m. Then on Saturday at noon, the sale opens up to everyone online at drive to13.com.
Thank you very much, Courtney. Well, MTS Centre is the scene for a lot of changes, not only the last little while, but the next while to come. So we want to check in and get the latest on what's going to happen with Drew Kosub. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning, Jeremy. How you doing?
I am excellent. Has the lineup started for the Drive to 13 yet?
The lineup hasn't started yet outside the building because you can only get the tickets online. But there was, I think, 500,000 unique visitors just yesterday checking out this website, so kind of a big deal.
500,000, not a bad number.
Yeah, that makes the 13,000 seem like it won't be any problem to hit.
Let's hope so. But you've got a special guest who can give us the details on how we can all participate.
Exactly. Let me introduce Scott Brown. He is the Director of Communications. Thank you for letting us come here on, I guess, the day after the big announcement.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming, Drew.
Let's talk about you guys have probably been sitting on this for a little while. Now it's in the public. We get to share this with everyone. What's the mood like? What's the celebration on your end of things?
Well, on my end of things, it's actually kind of more exhaustion than anything else. I mean, I think the story was told, you know, by both Mr. Chipman and Mr. Bettman yesterday that this transaction hasn't, as some have reported, it hasn't been sitting in a desk completed for a couple of months. It went well into Monday night and into Tuesday morning, and then I was here Tuesday morning till about 2 a.m. and then finally got told to go home because it didn't look like anything was happening. And then I got a phone call at 4:45 saying you better come back because this is probably going to happen. So it didn't get done until Tuesday morning, and then yesterday, after the initial surge of emotion that you get with the press conference and everything that happened here yesterday, you got to get down to work because ourselves and the community need to invest in 13,000 season tickets in order to get this through to the finish line. So we've still got some work to do, and the community itself still has some work to do before they can fully get into the party mode, although from the pictures I think everyone's been enjoying themselves.
Everyone was doing a lot of celebrating yesterday afternoon, and then through the night, and then late into the evening. Let's talk about some of the work that needs to be done. We'll talk about tickets in just a little bit, but let's talk about the building. Any changes that need to happen to the MTS Centre in preparation for this?
Yeah, we do have, we received an NHL facility standard agreement or document, and there are some changes that need to be made to the building, but they are not the substantial changes that have been rumored for a couple of years. We're not going to lift the roof and put 2,000 more seats in.
So that's rumor, that's not true.
No, the issue with this building is that with its size, is it's the demand that it creates. I mean, this is the type of market that a 15,000 seat building is going to create a demand for the tickets, and it'll create the idea that probably this building hopefully will be sold out for years to come because there'll be that great demand because of the limited supply of tickets. So that's where that comes in terms of, and we've done our studies for the average paid attendance, and if we get 15,000 people in here every night, we will be higher than the average attendance in the NHL, which is something that kind of shows people that the building is quality and meets its standards in terms of its size. There are some cosmetic changes that we will make to hopefully to the building before the season gets started, but those are things that we would have made probably over an extended period of time. With the NHL hopefully coming back here in October, we're going to try to crunch that into one summer, which will make for quite a lot of construction going on in here, but it's exciting.
Yeah, we'll fit it all into a short period of time. drive to13.com. We have the link up on our website, breakfasttelevision.ca. We're going to chat more about how you can buy your tickets starting today. If you're a very lucky Moose ticket holder, we'll talk more about that later.
And the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane.
Thanks, Jenna. Good morning. Drinks were had, cheers were chanted, and spirits were up across the city as Winnipeggers reveled in the return of the NHL. Hockey fans gathered by the thousands at the Forks, Portage in Main, and outside MTS Centre as it was announced the Atlanta Thrashers now belong to us.
I am excited beyond words to announce our purchase of the Atlanta Thrashers.
Right here in downtown
True North,
Winnipeg.
the Atlanta Spirit and the NHL came to a final agreement to the tune of $170 million early yesterday morning. The only thing now keeping the players and coaches from packing their bags is the sale of 13,000 season tickets, guaranteeing that Winnipeg is ready to support the franchise.
We are asking our folks to partner with us in a sense in terms of a term commitment to those tickets, and we think that's very unique in the National Hockey League.
Manitoba Moose season ticket and mini pack holders and corporate sponsors can get in on the action when the Drive to 13 officially begins at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Then on Saturday at noon, the sale opens up to everyone online at drive to13.com. While we greet one team, we bid farewell to another. The Manitoba Moose will also be on the move, but there is some good news for fans.
Owning your own development partner is a very significant part of the operation, so we will continue to own the Manitoba Moose Hockey Club, and we will find a place in relatively short order to make sure that they are up and operational as a development affiliate for the now Winnipeg National Hockey League team.
While they have yet to decide where to relocate the Moose, the owners say they are considering St. John's, Newfoundland. But a group from that city recently had a setback in their attempts to acquire the team when the province rejected a request to annually subsidize them.
Thank you, Courtney. It's time now for us to check in with our man who's at the hub of a whole lot of excitement, probably until the season kicks off. Drew Kozub live at
Hey,
MTS
Drew.
Centre.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, good, good. We all talked about what we thought the name should be, which is our web poll today, but you didn't get to weigh in. Do you have any thoughts on what the new NHL franchise should be called?
I believe it's one of the web poll options. I really like sticking with the Jets because it's what we're familiar with. It's going to feel very nice when they come back. It just it feels like a good connection. So that's what I'm hoping for. I don't care, though, if it's Winnipeg Jets or Manitoba Jets. But if we have the Jets, that'll feel pretty good, I think.
Yeah, because there was talk about perhaps instead of calling the name Winnipeg, whatever, call it a Manitoba name.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Manitoba Jets or Polar Bears. or the Poos.
The Winnipeg Winnie the Poohs I think is a good name.
That makes us sound ferocious. The other teams would be scared to even go on the ice.
I like the idea of all those people chanting, "Go Pooh, go! Go Pooh, go!"
And I think all the players should come on with a pot of honey.
Oh, wow. This is going to change hockey forever.
Personally, I'm going to vote for Winnipeg Winnebagos just for the alliteration.
Oh, I do. I like that. I think Razzle Dazzle is nice. Why has no one suggested that?
The Razzle Dazzle.
They could all come out with jazz hands.
Yeah. Yes, they could.
White gloves. Ooh, this is...
Yeah, we're just throwing the options out there, but I would say that the majority of people that I've talked to or that have responded to us definitely want to stick with tradition and they want the Jets name. But if that's not the case, we'll have to come up with something new.
We should all be ready for disappointment.
That's one of the things I'm going to be asking Scott about. I'll be chatting with him in a little while, so we're going to talk about names and colors, and we're going to find out if the Jets is on the table or not.
All right, thanks, Drew.
Bye, guys.
Now it's time to...
I am excited beyond words to announce our purchase of the Atlanta Thrashers.
NHL, welcome home. The times have changed for Winnipeg as an NHL market.
I can't hear Go Jets going
That was a big party down here at the Forks yesterday, and luckily so close we could just walk over there and join them.
It was fabulous. It sends shivers down my spine even just seeing it again.
It's nice to see how happy everyone is and how excited everyone was.
It was unbelievable. The weather may not have cooperated completely, but that did not stop Winnipeg from celebrating yesterday.
And so many great stories, people talking about when they left, grown men saying how they cried and how their kids slept with their sticks for weeks. And a lady was saying how...
It was a heartbreak. This
my
whole
goodness.
city was just in mourning.
And now it's all back together.
And now it's all back together. And of course, Twitter was a buzz yesterday with this news. And I just wanted to mention, do you remember when Greg Selinger was giving his speech at the press conference?
Yes.
And he made a bit of a Manitoba...
Mark Keane, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He was talking about Mike Keane, of course, the famous Manitoba Moose, who was honored this year. He made a bit of a slip-up, called him Mark. He tweeted yesterday, "My apologies to Mike Keane. Whoops, I clearly had Mark Chipman on my mind. We wouldn't be here without your efforts." Nice catch.
Yes.
Good save.
And you know what? It's an honest mistake.
Sure.
It is.
He had
He was
just been,
caught up.
you know,
He was-
Mark Bettman and all that, and then just the
Gary
name just
Bettman,
kind of...
yeah.
Gary Bettman. There you
And
go.
I just did my own slip. You're going to have to tweet about that pay.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Also wanted to mention Glenn Murray was tweeting yesterday too, because he was obviously the former mayor of Winnipeg, and his efforts also got us our NHL team back, and he was saying, "Way to go, Winnipeg, proud of my old city." So he's remembering where he came from as well.
Nice to see.
A lot of
It was
excitement.
tons of fun. It was so nice to be down there and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Enjoy your day. We've got some time to celebrate still. We'll
Enjoy the week.
We still have some highlights, and we'll check in
we
with
get a week?
Drew again
Yeah.
at MTS Centre. Taking a break here on BT. Back with more after this.
Let's make it 2 weeks.
Call me if you're on your own, and maybe I can meet you in the morning.
Welcome back to Breakfast Television. Well, you might be waking up a little excited this morning, as are a lot of people. Drew is live down at MTS Centre. He's got all the info on Drive to 13.
Yeah, we got tons of fun, and we'll talk Jets. Also, again, yesterday's announcement left us with lots of questions, so that's why we're bringing the expert, Arash Madani, joining us from Rogers Sportsnet. Let's get right into it, because there's lots of questions we have that basically started asking as soon as they finished the announcement.
Sure.
We got to pass Board of Governors approval before this becomes real. Any chance that won't happen?
Very, very unlikely. 21st of June in New York, the governors are going to approve. Effectively, the governors are the owners across the National Hockey League, and they need 2/3 approval to make this official. Then the relocation gets another, it only needs majority approval. This is effectively going to happen. They've talked about the drive to 13,000 tickets, and we'll get into that in a moment. But the Board of Governors realizes kind of what's at stake here. They realize it just didn't work in Atlanta, which is unfortunate for the National Hockey League on so many levels, especially with the economics. Expect that to go through.
So that's a rubber stamp. What about the drive to 13? What if we don't get to 13,000?
Well, it's happened before that, you know, in Ottawa they had their issues there, and in Columbus as well. In Columbus they also made it mandatory to get personal seat licenses certain places. With this afternoon, corporate and Moose seat holders really getting first priority, then by Saturday, opening to the general public, I have a feeling that won't even be a problem. I think a week from now, we're going to be talking about, if not at 13,000, by 10,000 already. So I don't forecast in this market that even being any kind of an issue.
Any insight as to what the name will be?
There's been so much talk about it, Jeremy. The two front runners are Polar Bears and Falcons. Now, there is a little bit of a faction that, you know, we want to bring the Jets back and perhaps the Moose because of the branding that they've had for quite some time. But True North hasn't really let that out yet. They haven't, I don't think they've finalized and formalized it with the National Hockey League from some of the things that that have come out over the last couple of days. So I think they're close. We're just not there.
Is Jets even in the mixture, the name Jets?
I don't think they want to go there. New team, new owners, new rink, new organization, new era, new time. And you think about what happened with Minnesota. They went from the North Stars to the Wild when they came back. I think they're going to go down that road.
Something new.
Something new.
Okay, how about this team? What is this? What kind of team are we getting? These guys any good?
It's a very good team. It's a young team. It's a team with a good nucleus. It's a team that was hovering in that playoff race, you know, and then they really fell off at the end. You have Dustin Byfuglien, who won a cup a couple of years ago. The captain, Andrew Ladd's a restricted free agent. Great building block there. Evander Kane is one of the young dynamic players in this league. Andre Pavlik in goal. Those are some building blocks. There's still a lot of work to do. You need more upfront talent. You need, you know, you need a boost on your blue line. There's no question. This is a team that finished 12th in the Eastern Conference. Probably a little better than that, but, you know, they're still a 7 through 9, 7 through 10 team in the conference. Maybe enough to get you in the playoffs. This still needs some tinkering and some work. The good news is, not an expansion team. There's still something to build on from there.
There's been a lot of talk lately. You were at the press conference where Gary Bettman got cheered. I was at the group where Gary Bettman got booed. Does he deserve all the blame that he's getting? Does he deserve any of this blame?
When you're the commissioner of a league, especially with Bettman, especially in this market with what happened in 1996, you're going to get that. You're going to get that scrutiny. It's like you go to a game, you're going to hear the officials get booed as well. But this was not Gary Bettman's problem in 1996. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. It was an aging, old building with no real ownership here. Bettman has presided, and the difference between the NHL and Bettman with a lot of other leagues is the NBA has shown a willingness to leave at any time, any city, if there's an owner who's willing to write a check. Bettman seems committed to keeping teams in a market, and yesterday he reiterated, we don't want to take teams out of certain cities. I understand the venom. I understand the dislike. I understand the distaste. From a media standpoint, he can be often very difficult.
For him, it kind of goes with the job.
And goes with his persona. And goes with kind of Jeremy who he is and who he's all about and how he's dialed up, and that really, you know, it fits into who and what this guy has represented as a brand of himself.
He's okay with it. He's got strong shoulders and he can handle it.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Thank you very much for some of those answers. For some answers to more of the questions that seem endless, we head to Drew Kozub. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning, Jeremy. Thank you very much. We will be finding out these answers in just a couple minutes about some of the important things, because yesterday we found out the NHL is headed back to Winnipeg. We need to hit that 13,000 ticket goal. If we can sell those 13,000 season tickets, we'll have no problem getting the approval. But there's still lots up in the air right now. What is the name of the team going to be? How soon are we going to find out? Because they've got to get this, I've been hearing, within the next 7 days. So they can get everything lined up and in time so that when they give us the official rubber stamp, yes, NHL heading back to Winnipeg, we'll be ready to go. So I'll be chatting with Scott Brown. He is the Director of Communications here at True North Sports and Entertainment. He's the guy who's in the know. Right now, we're going to take a good morning hello. We'll be saying hi to Courtney in the City TV newsroom. Thank you very much, Courtney. I'm joined right now by Scott Brown. He is the Director of Communications for True North Sports and Entertainment. So very big announcement yesterday. We found out that the NHL could be coming back as long as we can get to our 13,000 season tickets. So that is our job. The pre-sale starts today. General public can start getting those tickets on Saturday. So we need to buy these if we want the NHL to come back. But let's talk about our friends, the Manitoba Moose. Okay. What's going to be happening with them?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious the Manitoba Moose are going to be moving to another location, and there are some talks going on with St. John's, Newfoundland, which it appears that's the primary spot that potentially the Moose would move towards. Contrary to some reports that there was going to be, as soon as we had a press conference here to announce the Thrashers moved to here, that we were just going to flip a switch and there was going to be an announcement of the Moose moving to St. John's. That's not the case. There's some details that need to be moved forward. If St. John's is indeed the location, they did have an AHL franchise in the league as recently as 2005. It's a strong, or it's a stable AHL market with the right team and the right ownership place, which we hope we're going to provide in there, and the right support system that we're going to hire to put into St. John's if that's the place. And going on down the road, we'll see how things play out with that organization in that location.
Great. So they are going to be well looked after. Now let's talk about the big thing on our minds, the name.
Yeah.
This is not going to be an easy decision to get to. So can we talk briefly about the process of how we find the name and get everyone on the same page?
Looks like you need a new jersey, so that's why it looks a little old.
It's a little ratty.
Tight. Yeah. The process for the name, it's an internal we talked about a little bit off camera. It's an internal process that's been going on for a long period of time. But by no means is it done, because there are some outside factors that need to be factored in. For example, both the NHL was here yesterday, and they've got to protect some intellectual properties and some other things that at their level. We had a partner, Mr. Thompson, come in and see the presentation about what potential names could be for the first time. He has some definite opinions about what he hopes the name would be, because it is a lot, and we understand the emotion around the Jets logo and around the using Winnipeg versus Manitoba because of the identification of the community on the international map, and you can see that when people are talking about skating with the big dogs and everything like that today, and being a place that's talked about in the same vein as Montreal, New York, Philadelphia, Toronto. So we understand the community attachment and the affinity for the name, beginning with Manitoba or Winnipeg, and what the final, the team name would be. So we understand that it's still an ongoing process. That decisions have to be made, considerations have to be taken into account. We're hoping to have that done by this Board of Governors vote by June 21st, where hopefully they'll approve the move of the team to Winnipeg, and also we can deal with the name of the team.
So names still to be decided. June 21st is when we could be finding out what the team name is going to be. More on the potential return of the NHL later on BT. Right now we're going to say good morning to Jenna Kahn.
Good morning, I'm Brad Fay in the Connected Studios. After years of waiting for hockey to return to Winnipeg, the city finally got its wish. A formal announcement was made yesterday.
NHL, welcome home here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. We've missed you, and we're going to make it work forever now that you're back.
We feel very, very, very strongly about one another's values and about the possibilities that lie ahead. To actually move something forward that's distinctive and that makes a difference in people's lives. So I am committed to this community as I am to this country. It's about time.
Even when they left, you had a feeling that, this is short term. I mean, it's just too good a hockey town, and things were too good there at one time for it to all of a sudden just dry up. Is it going to fly in Winnipeg? Absolutely, I think it's going to fly. Is it going to be easy? No, it's not going to be easy. It's not easy in most markets. You have to work at it.
For the record, she had 2 goals and an assist in that game. Good job.
We also want to know what you think the team should be named, because it's not confirmed that they'll be named the Jets. So that's our web poll question today, breakfasttelevision.ca. What do you think our new NHL team should be named? The Jets, the Falcons, Polar Bears, or other? And I think when you were talking to Arash there, he was saying that chances are it's going to be a new name.
Yeah, it's going to want to leave the Jets behind, new team, new owners, a new name.
Don't know how happy people will be about that, but
We'll see. And the idea is they'll have some sort of connection. Maybe a third jersey will be a Jets or something will be worked in there.
And we've got Drew at MTS Centre. He's got a lot of details for us too. Let's check in with him.
Thanks, guys. Here with Scott Brown, Director of Communications for True North Sports and Entertainment. Thank you for having us down here today. Very exciting time. We had the big announcement tomorrow, so everyone's got this NHL fever, but it might not happen if we don't get the ticket sales, right? We need to get to 13,000 season tickets sold. Is that correct?
That's correct. I mean, one of the it's not as if we don't hit that number. It's not going to happen. It's just for our ownership group as well as for the National Hockey League Board of Governors, who ultimately do hold the final vote on June 21st. We've established that the target 13,000 is a clear indication that this community is invested in this team, the same way the ownership group is, and the same way that the league would be in coming back to Winnipeg. So we've established that as a number that we think will be able to have the team have success going forward if we can get to that.
That's what's going to show that Winnipeg is serious about having the NHL back. Now, some people are able to buy tickets as early as today at 1 p.m. Is that right? So
That's correct.
Who can get those ones?
Moose season ticket holders have a 3-day pre-sale window beginning today at 1 o'clock. Moose season ticket holders that have been with us for 15 years and have put a serious financial commitment into the past product in the Manitoba Moose, they're going to be the first ones up at the plate starting 1 o'clock today. And from there, we've categorized the Moose season ticket holders into certain pre-sale categories so that their windows open up a little earlier than other people's windows. Those people that are opening up at 1, they have until late Friday night to purchase, and then after that, it's in 2-hour increments that windows open up for Moose season ticket holders. They've been already notified when their windows are, and then at Saturday at noon we get our general public on sale.
So Saturday at noon is the general public on sale. That is your chance to secure these season tickets and help us get to that goal of 13,000 tickets. We need to get there. For details on this, go to our website, breakfasttelevision.ca. Scott Brown, thank you very much for having us down here.
No problem.
Coming up on BT, we got some music for you. Stick around.
Well, it's been an exciting day, exciting night as well. Everyone's happy about the NHL team coming back. We're still debating the name.
Yes, and that'll be on wraps for a little bit while longer.
We've had a couple of great suggestions online, so please give us yours. We're going to check in with Drew one more time. He's down at MTS Centre. He's been telling us about the drive to 13. We'll check in with him one last time. Hey, Drew.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
We're good. We're good.
So I guess the big thing to keep in mind here, because we're all so excited about the NHL, we just think it's a done deal. We have to make sure we're showing our commitment with the whole drive to 13. We have to sell those 13,000 season tickets just to show the NHL bigwigs that we are serious about getting our team back here in Winnipeg. That's very important. We got to keep that in mind.
We want them to know we're not all talk. We weren't like bring back the team, but we're not going to go see the games. Yes, we will go see the games.
You're darn right.
We got to show them, because, I mean, if you're looking at the party that was happening at the Forks and the party that was at Portage in Maine, there's so many people who are excited about this. So we just got to make sure that we can show these people, yes, we're ready to commit. We want to have this team back. We want it all to work.
And I think there'll be a lot of people at work this morning saying, all right, so we need 4 guys and we'll split this up. Okay, everybody? Yeah, I think it'll be one of those.
I've already seen that Facebook status. Who wants to split some season tickets? So, hey, there's ways to do it.
I think that's the way to do it, too. Find some buddies, because you're going to want to go to these games, and then do maybe the 4-seat thing, so then each buddy could go with his family a certain week, or they could just all go together. So we've just got to do this. Drive to13.com or visit breakfasttelevision.ca for the link.
Great. Thanks, Drew.
Consider it done. It'll happen.
Done and done.
Got to say thanks to Michael, who brought in his brick from the old arena, the Winnipeg arena there. Michael's been having that in his back pocket every day.
Since 2006.
Amazing.
We have a great show for you tomorrow. We'll tell you what the big green egg is and your chance to win it. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care.
Well, judging from how quickly fans are snapping up tickets for Winnipeg's new NHL team, reaching 13,000 should be no problem. Season ticket holders from the Manitoba Moose had first dibs today. After the first few hours, the count stands at 1,870. That's about 9 tickets per minute. Global's Nelly Gonzalez has more on the drive to 13.
The push to sell 13,000 NHL season tickets began today, with Moose customers getting first dibs.
If all of the Moose season ticket holders and mini pack holders maxed out their option to buy 4 tickets each, we would probably sell just over 8,000 season tickets.
And that would leave at least 5,000 season tickets up for grabs for the general public this Saturday. But this longtime Moose fan says the NHL comeback is bittersweet.
I'm going to miss it. I am really going to miss it. But there's just no way that I can afford tickets.
Corrine says her Moose tickets cost about $20 a game for a front row seat. That same seat now is more than $100.
And I'd love to be able to go to the games. I don't think I'd enjoy any other seat than the one I had.
True North officials say seat selections will only be done after the 13,000 season tickets are sold, and warn not every fan will get their first choice.
There's no guarantee you're going to get the exact same seat that you've sat in for a number of years.
The average ticket in Winnipeg will cost $82. That's higher than the Canadian average.
I think people will pay it.
Joe created his own Facebook page in hopes of finding other fans who may want to split the cost of one seat.
I can make it to 4 games a year, and that's plenty for me. And then I can tell people I'm a season ticket holder, which is super cool.
Nellie Gonzalez, Global News.
And the debate rages on over what to name the team. For many fans, the no-brainer choice is to go with the Jets. As Global's Jeff Keel reports, a hesitant True North says it wants to do more research first.
It's the name that symbolizes the NHL in this city.
The Winnipeg Jets.
But it could be time to say goodbye to the Jets. True North says it will undertake a quick study to determine what the team should be called, so a name and logo are in place before June 21st. And while the Jets name is still a possibility, diehard fans shouldn't bet on it.
We have had a lot of people tell us that they'd prefer to see a name other than the Jets.
If you don't name it the Jets, then you're up for potentially people having a disconnect with the name.
While this marketing executive says a new name gives the team a fresh start and new merchandise opportunities, there is a risk of not going with the Jets.
You're also walking away from an established name where a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia with. It has a brand equity, and, I don't know if that's the smartest move.
Much like the 1995 Save the Jets rally, Facebook groups have popped up in an attempt to save the Jets name. Even Thrasher forward Evander Kane says he prefers Jets, but he did put a call out on his Twitter account for name suggestions. Some of the responses: Jets, Falcons, Moose, Polar Bears, even mosquitoes. What should the team be called?
The Winnipeg Jets.
Some relocated teams have had fan contests to come up with a name. Others just kept its inherited identity or branded itself to reflect its new location. Some say Winnipeg should do the same.
Something to do with winter. Blizzard, snow, something like that, man. Something cold, something icy.
So, go Blizzard, go. Jeff Keel, Global News.
So what about the future of the Manitoba Moose? Businessman and former Newfoundland Premier Danny Williams told media today a tentative deal is in place to move the Moose to St. John's, pending approval from the AHL. True North says that report is incorrect.
In just 3.5 hours, True North selling over 1,800 season tickets for the new NHL team. Until Saturday, tickets are only available to the 2,000 Moose season ticket holders, already well on their way to the goal of 13,000. Now, players on the Thrashers are all saying the right things, with Andrew Ladd, Eric Bolton, and Evander Kane. Just a few have said they're excited about the move. Kane is a BC boy, and he's never been here before, but it sounds like he can't wait.
I'm very excited about the opportunity. Anywhere in Canada, I'd love to go play, and going to Winnipeg, when they had the Jets, I think there's a good history and a good tradition there, and I'm looking forward to kind of renewing that and being a big part of that. So I'm looking forward to my time there, and kind of get this thing going. Somebody asked you, what are you looking forward to the most? And I said that home opener. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think the city will be buzzing, as well as the crowd in the building.
Let's face it, one of the main reasons this deal got done is because of the patience and dedication shown by True North chairman Mark Chipman. Chipman took the opposite approach of Jim Balsillie and won over those in the NHL head office.
What really came through in the day-to-day dealings with Mark is his integrity and his professionalism and his passion and commitment to this market. He's always been a pleasure to deal with. I wish we had more Mark Chipmans. I wish we had more Mark Chipmans.
And I think one of the reasons you say that is because of the fact that he doesn't say anything to the media.
Obviously, there was a lot of speculation in the media in the last several weeks. We were always very confident that none of that information was coming from True North or particularly Mark Chipman.
Unlike the loss of the Jets 15 years ago, the passing of the Thrashers has been largely ignored by the citizens of Atlanta. That, according to former Bomber and current Atlanta resident Milt Stiegel.
When I went to the gym this morning, they were like, hey, we lost our hockey team to where you used to play, right? You know where you used to play? 99% of the people here, honestly, they could care less. Some people don't even know that we had a hockey team here, so it's not that big of a deal for the city of Atlanta.
Just one day after the big announcement, and the Moose already have a new home with Winnipeg's new minor league club heading to St. John's, Newfoundland. True North striking a deal that will see the team run by St. John's Sports and Entertainment, led by former Premier Danny Williams. True North will still own the team, but the deal is first subject to AHL Board of Approval.
We've reached two bilateral tentative deals. One is between the team here in St. John's and True North and Mark Chipman and his group, formerly the Manitoba Moose, of course. And as well, we've got a tentative deal now with the City of St. John's for MTS Centre, so that we have obviously an arena to operate out of. You know, it's a great Canadian moment, and we are now part of a very exciting exercise that's happening out west. And we'll be an affiliate, and we'll be a feeder team for that NHL team in Winnipeg. So I got to say, it's exciting times. When we do our launch here, it probably mightn't be the same hype that was in Winnipeg, but I got to tell you, I don't think it'll be far off.